Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to the Starting 11 show. Arsenal travelled to Newcastle in a bid to at least keep the pressure on Manchester City, who won yesterday, beating Leeds 2-1. We're going to talk about them, we're going to talk about Arsenal and the 11s we want to see, and the 11s you want to see. So get in the comment section, let us know the starting 11 that you would have for today's game. It's going to be revealed by Mikel Arteta and the team in about 29 minutes. Let's, though, welcome the panel. We have Laurie to my right. Laurie wants to be louder. Welcome, Laurie. Welcome, Stricto over there. Welcome, Stricto. And making his debut on AFTV, a very warm welcome to Michael.
Yes,
What, so you're not going to do the whole... Welcome. It's a big game, We're going to ask everyone how they're feeling. We're going to, as I said, go through the 11s, and we have got everyone here to build their starting 11 on the AFTV Plus app. You can all do that. Download the app absolutely free on the Google Play Store, on the App Store, wherever it is that you get your apps. Go and do the 11 selector. There's loads of other stuff, including FANZONE, which we can do after the game on full time as well. We can get your thoughts live on the show. But what we really want to do right now is get the 11s that you want to see going up against Newcastle. It's going to be a very, very tough game. And as always, this amazing watch along is powered by the amazing NordVPN. Make sure you're invincible with the AFTV special 4-month free on a 2-year plan. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee. Use the code AFTV at the checkout or click the link below to visit nordvpn.com/AFTV for the AFTV special.
It's like I've had no freedom to just be myself. I keep getting restricted. It's like someone's watching me at home, on the train, even in the bathroom. It's making me see red!
Well, that's because London is red.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, just to be sure, I'm going to prescribe you 2 years of NordVPN. You'll feel a better sense of self when you can explore the internet with freedom. And with next generation encryption on up to 6 devices, those feelings of being watched will be gone.
Does that mean I can access new content on the streaming services I've already subscribed to?
Just change your location in the app.
And I won't get tagged by any malware?
Nord's threat protection will have you covered.
And I can save money when travelling and shopping locally instead of internationally?
All that plus 4 months free.
Oh wow. Thank you, Doc.
All right, Ty?
No, I'm not right. It's a disgrace.
Charming.
Remember, with the AFTV special, you get 4 months free, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to nordvpn.com/AFTV now.
A big thank you to NordVPN. Go check them out. Links in the description below. Now, I've got a comment here, Laurie, from Joseph. It says, Laurie in the studio means we're going to lose.
Oh Lord! Is he one of those guys?
Is this a regular occurrence?
Well, I've been in the studio for pretty much most of the games this season, and we've not lost many, have we? So
yeah, fair enough.
Straight away that don't stack up. Who is that guy, man?
His name's Joseph.
Come on, Joseph, man. Give me more credit.
To be fair, every time I've been here, we ain't won.
Oh, that's good.
He must mean you then.
Everton,
Right.
Liverpool. What other game was it? Oh, we ain't won. We ain't won when I've been here.
Got to break that street at some point, haven't we?
Man, maybe I should leave, bro.
The thing is, for the Liverpool one, you weren't even on the watch along. So you were just stressing on the side. You lost your voice and everything. Bless your heart. Let's welcome Michael. Michael, how are you doing and how are you feeling going into this? And give us a little bit of an idea for like what this really means for Arsenal, because a lot of people saying it's over, the title race is done. But mathematically, it's not. And while that's the case, Arsenal have to keep the pressure up, no?
100%, like I said, you mentioned there, while there's still mathematically a chance of winning the league, you've got to believe and carry on believing. Like I said, it's an important game. It's going to be a tough game. I don't think it'll be anything like when Newcastle came to us earlier in the season, where they were very defensive and they just didn't want to lose. And here, I think they'll come out, they'll test us first 15, 20 minutes, 100%. But we weather that storm, and I think our creative players going forward can pick them apart.
Now, for all of you, again, meeting Michael for the first time, you used to play the game, right?
Yeah, recently retired this season, played a 13-year career, so yeah, I'm just trying to just like enjoy my football again as a fan now, rather than that where you're in that world. And like I said, I'm coming back out, I'm enjoying myself. It's been a great season for Arsenal. Obviously, the last few months have been testing, but yeah, I'm really just enjoying it.
Well, I mean, I bring it up to big you up firstly, but also to, ask for a little bit of insight, because Arsenal went to Newcastle last year and I just got completely sworn by the occasion. It wasn't just an Arsenal team that struggled because Newcastle were better. I felt there was a psychological thing they couldn't get over. As someone who's played the game, have you ever been in that situation? Obviously, a trip to St James's Park is one thing, but football at any level, there are occasions where there's a lot on the line, there's a lot of pressure, and sometimes it can get the better of you. Have you ever kind of felt anything like that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, you can easily get caught up in the occasion, but they always say play the game, not the occasion, and I think that's going to be the main way we do it here, where we have to stick to our own principles and not worry about the crowd. I know it'll be tough, like to go in St James's Park, it's a tough place to go, but we just need to believe in ourselves. And like I said, pressure's a funny thing. You can either thrive in it, or like I said last season, it swallowed us and consumed us. But like I said, it's all about just believing in ourselves, what we do, and how we can hurt them today. And like I said, we just play our own game.
Stricto, last year we went to Newcastle, similar time of the season, very similar actually, and it was about win and top four's in our destiny. Now we're turning up, like I said, very similar time, top four's locked in. I know we've had bigger aspirations this year, but that does show how far we've come.
We've come very, very far, to the point where a bit of me is very disappointed that we're not where we've been all season. That's how far we've come. I think also this is a test again of how far we've come, being able to manage pressure, being able to come through pressure, and obviously last season that wasn't the case. So this season, it's not over till it's over. But what's very important is we have to keep winning games if we're going to give ourselves any chances of, getting on top of Man City. So yeah, it is a big game, and I just want to see the attitude. I want to see the application, because look, we've played in big away grounds this season. We talk about Spurs, we went there, controlled it, bossed it. Talk about Leeds United, went there, fine, we didn't boss it, but we came through it. So it shouldn't be no different here today.
Yeah, I hear it. Let's bring up the starting 11s from the last time they met a year ago. We've got it up here on the tactical pad. We're going to start with the Arsenal starting 11. Aaron Ramsdale was the goalkeeper. Are we able to get it up? I think I'm hearing from production that... Oh, sorry, my thing's gone off on my iPad. Let's get it back up. Here we are. That should connect any second now. But I'll read out the 11 in the meantime. Aaron Ramsdale started that game in goal. We had Tommy Asu at right back, Ben White, there it is, Ben White, Gabriel and Tavares. I remember White and Gabriel weren't fully fit either, really. El Neni, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Nketiah. The Newcastle team was Kraft, Cher, Byrne, Target, Joe Linton, Guimaraes, Longstaff, Almiron, Wilson and St Maximin. If we just move this along for a second and look at the changes from that 11 to the 11 that went out against Chelsea the other day. Ben White pushed out to right back where he's played all season. Kiwi starting, obviously Zinchenko came in at left back. We know Saliba's been a regular in that 11 as well. Jorginho started at the base, but it would be Partey for most of the season as well. And Saka, Jesus and Trossard with Martinelli as well. Smith Rowe has barely featured this season. Tells you how far we've come this year.
Yeah, straight away. I mean, there's a couple of names in there that almost forgotten about. Tavares, to name but one. But yeah, it's an infinitely stronger side. I would imagine we don't know this side that's going to take the pitch 4:30 yet. But just looking at the previous 11 against Chelsea, that is definitely a stronger side than what played Newcastle last season. But the trouble is, they are also stronger.
Well, exactly, and that's actually, if we just take it back to the tactical pad for a second, we've got the 11 that they started with, which I read out. But actually, as you can see, 6 players, actually I think it's 7, yes, 7 players that started in their last game. They didn't start in the game a year ago, and we're bringing them in now. Byrne, who's been largely deployed at left back this season. Botman's come in. Trippier, actually Dubravka, we need to take him out and put Pope back in goal. There we go. Pope's the starting goalkeeper. Willett, Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and then Murphy, Isaac, who's been absolutely superb for them, and Anthony Gordon as well, as they signed in January. Now they might change it around and still bring in some of those other players like Almiron, who's had a great season, St Maximin. But again, they've reinforced too, Stricto.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not a coincidence they are where they are. We've just got to be, let's be real. They've had an ambition. They've been bought by a mega rich was it people, a consortium, people, whatever you want, organization. So they've got aspirations, and like us, maybe both teams have peaked early, not peaked, but we've got to places where earlier than what was expected to get to. So yeah, the players they've bought, they haven't really bought anyone like a big name, but they've just bought well. They've bought to suit what they needed, and you're seeing the result of it there in the table. They're firmly third.
Yeah.
You know, so
Just we've got it in the background. Notts County 3-2 up against Boreham Wood. I know some people will be watching that massive game. They were 2-0 down apparently, and in the 30th minute, literally the last minute of extra time, what a goal to put them 3-2 up.
keeper error, no?
That's in the playoffs,
keeper
I believe. Boreham Wood, a side that Arsenal have played many a time in pre-season friendly. So yeah, shame for them, but congrats to Notts County. We've got a comment here from Joshua. Michael, I want to get your thoughts on this. If Gabriel starts, we win, he says. Is it? I mean, it's not that simple, but how crucial is he?
I think his performances this season have backed up how crucial he is to the back four. I think, like I said, if he isn't fit and we have to think along them lines, it would be a good chance for Holding and Kiwi to just show that they are ready to step into that game, you know. And like I said, if it is Holding and Kiwi, it'd be a tough test, but you got to have faith in them. And like I said, they're both him and Saliba will be a massive miss if we do miss them both.
I thought we looked so much better against Chelsea with Gabriel and Kiwi there rather than Gabriel and Holding, and it's nothing on Holding. Well, it is something on Holding, but like it's nothing personal. You know, he is a very particular type of defender. I think he likes to defend his penalty box. I think he likes to have short spaces, and he's actually quite commanding in the air, probably better than people give him credit for. But Arsenal all season played on the front foot. They chased teams all over the pitch, and I felt with Kiwi and Jorginho, the gaps were just far shorter from attack to defence. We looked far more compact. You know, in games before, Partey and Holding just felt miles from each other, and also they didn't quite trust Holding on the ball. So Partey was coming out in midfield, and we just lost. And, you know, these sound like small things. People go, "Oh, you're overanalyzing." I get that a lot. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're overthinking it." But at the highest level of football, it's these small details that make a massive difference.
Absolutely. And with Kiwi, I was advocating for him to come into the team a lot earlier. Myself and you had spoken a few weeks ago, and I was basically saying, "What's happened to Kiwi?" I mean, he came to the club with quite a big reputation. We know about his physicality. You know he's quick. You know he's strong. He's a Polish international, so he's experienced. And I kept saying to people, like, you know what I mean? We bought this guy. By all reports, he was doing very well in training, and then he had a game, didn't go the best for him, and then he kind of went away again. And I was like, yo, you know, let's bring him back in. He played the other day. Thought he did well. I hope he retains his place today.
Well, I think he will. I mean, again, the big question is around Gabriel and his fitness. But Kiwi, you know, the resistance to playing him was he's not a right footer, he's left footed, is it going to disrupt our balance? And actually, he distributed the ball so quickly that it didn't matter. He got it and he laid it off. And actually, it doesn't matter. You know, you don't watch football and go, "Oh, we couldn't make that pass," because, you know, he used his right foot over his left. The point is, you can get the ball from A to B. So we've been overthinking this for a long time.
I mean, it's Arteta's thing, you know. I think there's something some managers have, and I think with Arteta, he likes to have left foot and a right foot, you know, and he doesn't, you know, as you said, he doesn't like to pair two right-footed players or two left-footed players in the same position. But listen, all that matters is when he is given his chance, left-footed or not, he does what he's supposed to do. Yeah, like you said, you're a professional. Like, you should be able to kick a ball. You should be able to be in a good position. You should be able to anticipate things. You should be able to header the ball. Do you know what I mean? Whether or not you're left-footed, right-footed, in that there are some basics you should be able to do. And I think what he might do if he does start with Gabriel, I think he might shift Arteta's tradition on the whole having the same foot players in the same position.
But like, I understand why he was reluctant to sort of change things too much in terms of the balance and all that. But he said it quite candidly on Sky before the Chelsea game. We've been leaking goals. We had to make a change. And it's funny because the Arsenal fans who were on Rob Holding, who were critical about his impact on the team, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's not on Rob Holding. It's this, it's that. Stop blaming." But actually, when it came to making changes, Rob Holding was one of the players that lost his spot. So Arteta kind of said, yeah, like a lot of you who were critical were right to a degree.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's when you're on such a great run, and like I said, there's been forced changes in terms of injury, which there wasn't Holding enough to come in, and then you go through that bad patch where you're leaking goals, you're not picking up results. I think, like I said, it's very easy then to become the player that will be criticised for that. And I think Rob Holding's had to take the brunt of that in the last few games, and like I said, and then it doesn't help when you do lose that spot inevitably and you get changed again, and then you go and get an impressive win at Chelsea. So that's the thing. It's all about timing in football, and unfortunately for Rob Holding, this time where he's come into the team, you've gone through that sticky patch, and it's just reflected poorly on him, really.
So we've spoken about the defence and stuff. Let's do it. Let's get everyone's 11.
I think just picking up on that defence thing, I think it's important to remember that the whole sort of the basis of the good form that we enjoyed for the most part of the season was based on that partnership between Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah.
So
100%.
with the injury to Saliba, which I think is it's very difficult to quantify just how much we missed him, but we definitely have. And unfortunately for Holding, he became a little bit of a scapegoat, which I didn't like to see that, to be honest. He's a good, honest pro. He came in, he did his best, but those of us who watch Arsenal regularly will know that there is quite a big drop off between Saliba and Gabriel and Holding and Gabriel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, we bought this guy Kiwi. The reports were that physically he was on point. He's quick, he's strong, he's experienced. So I kind of expected. I mean, I can understand why he would go with Holding initially. He's been at the club for so long. He's a bit more familiar with the Premier League than Kiwi. But I was kind of thinking that Kiwi would have been given his chance before now.
Yeah.
He came in the other day, he played well, and I'm expecting him to retain his place. And I'm optimistic that he can do a good job today.
Well, let's go with the 11s, see what everyone's gone for. We're going to start with you, Michael. On your debut, you've gone for Aaron Ramsdale in goal, White, Kiwior, Gabriel and Zinchenko keeps his place. Ødegaard, Partey returns for you with Xhaka in there as well. Trossard starts with Saka on the bench, Jesus and Martinelli. Give us, I mean, the bigger ones are Zinchenko keeping his place and Saka not starting. What was you thinking?
For me, knowing how Newcastle play, very structured, especially defensively, so I feel like the three players that we've put up there will add that bit of dynamic where there's a bit of interchange in movement, a bit of quick play around the box where you need to ultimately suck the centre, the halves out, the fullbacks out and get playing around them.
Yeah.
And like I said, Zinchenko, I know he may be going through a bit of a dip in form, but I think he still offers you that little bit extra on when he's picking the ball up in central areas and he's playing through. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Saka's been fantastic this season, this good thing. I think the the last couple of games he might have just been maybe reaching a bit of burnout where he's played a lot of football recently. So might be just take him out of the firing line today. Hopefully the changes, if obviously this is what it goes with, then you just hopefully pick up the result and then we'll go from there.
Well, I also think that three you've got there, I think that is the form front three, if I'm honest. I think Martinelli, he's been our top goal scorer. He's been so up for it in this title hunt. I think as the race has intensified, where other players' levels have dropped, I don't think Martinelli's has. I think Jesus looked very good against Chelsea, and Trossard, I mean, I think we've won every game he started since we signed him. So I think just purely statistically, you probably go with that front three in terms of form or whatever. Saka, I think, struggled a little bit, but I would bring him in. So we'll go to my 11 now and have a little look at that. I'm going for, Ramsdale in goal, White, Kiwior, Gabriel and Tierney are brought in. I thought what Zinchenko did for the Chelsea goal was so poor, and I don't think that should necessarily cost you your place, but I don't think he's looked his best. I don't think in the games previous to Chelsea we had sort of infinite control of games to the point where I thought, well, if you take him out, are you costing us that? I would bring Partey in because I think they're so dynamic in midfield. Newcastle, we need an answer to that. And again, I was so tempted to go for Trossard because, again, how can you argue the numbers? We've won every game we started. But I just feel like this is not the game for him as much as it is for Saka's pace on the counter or Saka's pace running at Burns. Same for Martinelli and Jesus as well. So it's harsh on Trossard. And I've purposely gone for Ødegaard in the 10 as opposed to in the midfield 3. Reason being, because I don't think we're going to have as much of the ball. So I think there will be times where he needs to sort of just press with Jesus from the front. But the other thing I'd add is, with Tierney in there, I don't think Xhaka's going to get forward as much. Just for me anyway. I'd almost rather our central midfielders a little bit more compact and tight together. So that's the 11 I've gone with. Who do we have next? I believe it's Stricto's 11. Let's get Stricto. Stricto, talk us through it.
So I think I had to think about this. So I did go with Saka, talking about our front three, and I was someone who was saying I think he needed a rest, but also I feel you can give him the 45, and I thought if he isn't giving us anything, then I'll bring in Trossard instantly. Don't waste time on that. I mean Gabriel Jesus has to start for me. Like his pressing is second to none. His energy. I think at this time of the season, if you think about last season when we went up there, we lacked energy, you know. And I think he's someone that who's gonna play in that position other than him and Eddie, but more likely prefer him. Kiwior, I mean, it is a tough one. This is a very difficult ground, St. James's Park. He's up against Callum Wilson. He's up against Isak. He's up against pace, power, aerial threats. I must say, I haven't really been impressed with his aerial contribution.
He missed a few headers early in the Chelsea game.
Yeah. But you know, I think there is something he gives that Holding doesn't give, which is pace.
Yeah.
And I think you'll need that against the attacking line.
Yeah.
White obviously keeps his place because you do have that White, Odegaard and Saka link up, that trinity, if you want to call it that, which hopefully that can be good for us today.
Canadian Gooden with Super Chat says Rob Holding is awful. Stop fence sitting, James. I've taken out my team. I don't know what more you want. Let's look at Laurie's 11 now. Laurie, you've gone for Ramsdale in goal.
Yep.
And Tierney though comes in.
I've gone for Tierney. Now, you know, I've heard the arguments put forward about Zinchenko in this inverted role and him doing a bit more on the ball. But I would say in previous couple of games, he's not hit those heights that he was hitting earlier in the season. And I think Tierney can be reasonably felt to be, you know, a little bit unlucky that he's not had more starts. I think you touched on it, and so did James. Sorry, your name?
Mark,
yeah. It's very likely that Newcastle will have more of the ball than, you know, most teams that we come up against. The defence needs to be solid, and I actually think that Tierney is a better defender than Zinchenko, so I would have gone for Tierney. Gabriel, we know about. Kiwior, as I've stated earlier, gives you a bit of extra pace and power at the back there, which we're going to need. As Stricto says, you're up against the likes of Callum Wilson and Isak, a man like that. So it's important that, you know, I mean, we keep the fundamentals, we're defensively responsible, and I think Kiwior's got the edge over Rob Holding. And again, I'm not scapegoating, but it is what it is. Moving into the midfield areas, some people might consider if Partey starts, he's a bit fortunate to get the one over Jorginho, but I just think, again, for a game like this, Partey's greater physical attributes edges it for me.
I agree.
Xhaka and Odegaard, you know, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Front three, again, the Trossard Saka argument, I'm hearing that, but I'm edging Saka because I think a lot of the games I've seen this season, Saka, he can sometimes appear to be out the game for spells, and then he pops up with a bit of magic, and he's done that consistently over the season. So I would just edge it towards him. But what I would say is, even though I put my 11 up there, what I want to see the manager do, and I have been slightly critical of him for this in previous games, I want to see a bit more innovation and imagination with the subs. I want to see the subs be given a chance to make a proper impact. None of this 5 minutes to go bringing on subs and stuff, and like for like stuff. There's some good players on the bench there. Be proactive, get Trossard on if Saka's not doing it, as Stricto said. Some of the other guys, Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece, Eddie, don't bring these guys on when the game's, you know what I mean, done.
The game's past us.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Be proactive with it.
We do have some early team news that both Isaac and Wilson are starting for Arsenal. That'd be nice. For Newcastle. So that'll be interesting. Maybe Isaac off the left, unless they're going 4-4-2. And then Tom Canton, who's there at the game, says that Mauro Bandeira has arrived with the Arsenal squad. He's a midfielder who can play fullback, and says it'll be interesting to see who he replaces in the squad. I wonder if also sometimes they bring an extra player in case someone gets ill or something, so maybe he'll just be the spare player who's been taken, but midfielder who can play fullback. We will see. Now there is a poll with 500 votes. Keep voting. Whose starting 11 is best between all us four? Should we find out? I haven't got sure. Once I click Oh, yeah, I'll just vote for mine. Forget it. What have we got? Oh, 47% have gone for me. Thank you.
But haven't we got
Thank
the
you
same?
so much.
No.
No, slight tweaks.
What was your tweet?
I went for. Maybe we
I think it's a position, innit? The formation, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personnel is the same,
formation.
but formation is different.
Yeah.
Oh, you went for Odegaard in the 10, which, to be
Yeah.
honest, does make some sense. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
But I
You know
think
what,
the 11 was pretty much the same.
We'll share that. But lots of votes coming in. Keep.
But as I
getting
said,
them in.
James, I think it's very important that the manager utilises the subs better than what he's done in previous weeks. Personally, that's been a disappointment for me.
Flexibility.
See
He's
players
got to be
coming
flexible.
on when the game is pretty much played out.
Yeah.
You want the subs to be done early, and so they can make the correct. Give them a chance to make a proper impact. I mean, for example, in the City game, was it? Reece came on. He looked very good, but
Yeah,
I'm
he
thinking, bro, we would have loved to have seen this 20 minutes before, or even 10, 15 minutes before. You know?
Yeah.
Bringing on Eddie with 5 minutes to go. I mean, come on, bro. Like, you know.
All right, so we are a couple minutes away from the starting 11, literally 3 minutes from finding out. But if you're thinking about your next holiday, you might find this helpful. Have a little look.
If you're traveling soon, why pay more? Just change your location before you travel so that you can explore local prices on accommodation, flights, car rentals, and events. Once you're in your destination country, you can change your location back to the UK. So it's easy to access your emails, banking, and subscriptions. Click the link to unlock your internet freedom with NordVPN. And with the AFTV special, you can save even more. Click the link to be invincible.
There seem to be a lot of comments saying that with Laurie here, we're going to lose. So there we go. It's just become a thing in the comments. Do remember there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you use code AFTV.
I feel like Rob Holding, they were making me the scapegoat.
Anyway, use code AFTV at the checkout or hit the link below to visit nordvpn.com/AFTV for the AFTV special. And talking special, I want to see a special lineup, and we've got a special player. Very quickly to talk about this. Stats just popped up on Twitter. I've been scrolling through. 22-year-old William Saliba, who was in the Premier League team of the season. I believe it was the EA team of the season. He was also in the Ligue 1 team of the season last year and Ligue 1 team of the season shortlist the year before. What a special player, and we undoubtedly miss him a lot. Hopefully Kiwi can come in and do a really good job. 2 minutes from finding out the starting 11. We've said what we want to see, but do we know what we think? I think he's going to stick with Saka, Jesus and Martinelli personally, even though I get the argument with Trossard. I just think that's what he's going to go with.
Yeah, because Arteta, he's kind of
quite stubborn with it.
Yeah, he's quite stubborn and like almost predictable. You can say.
What about Jorginho? I mean, he played well. We haven't really talked about. I thought he played well against Chelsea.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
he played well, but let's be honest, he doesn't quite offer you what Partey offers you when Partey's on form. The problem with Partey is he's not been hitting those straps the way he had been earlier in the season. So.
And you could also argue that maybe the thought of Jorginho starting was kind of to give Partey a chance for this game. I think he would have weighed it up. Okay,
maybe. Yeah.
What's a bigger game for us? Like we should beat Chelsea, but I think this Newcastle away game is a lot more tricky. So let me give Jorginho a chance and just stretch it into this game. Let's see. Maybe.
It could also be a mindset thing, because I always think no doubt you guys will have your own opinions, but when I see Jorginho in the team, I kind of get a vibe where it's almost like you're trying to preserve what you have, or
What, in terms of the players or the result?
No, in terms of the style of football. When you have Partey in there, you're looking a little bit more offensive minded.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
That's how I tend to. I mean, listen, I don't want to discredit Jorginho in any way, but that's the vibe it gives me. That with Partey in the team, you're looking to be a bit more on the front foot. Get forward a bit more, but with Jorginho, it's more of a conservation thing. But hey,
the team is out any second now. I'm just having a little look. Let's see if we can find.
But regardless of who plays today, James, I think a big factor will be the mental side of the game today. We went up there last season. We were pretty disappointed. Let's be honest. We're going to another big round. There's a lot on the line. I want to see how the players embrace the challenge today.
Why are Arsenal so slow to reach their 11? I think we've got it here. So, Ramsdale in goal. White, Gabriel does make the team. He is fit. Kiwi, Zinchenko keeps his place. He's gone for Xhaka. Jorginho keeps his place. With Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli returns, and Jesus leads the line.
Wow.
That 11 doesn't surprise me. That does surprise me.
So from the win on Tuesday night, he's just brought in Martinelli, but Jorginho keeps his place.
That doesn't surprise me.
That surprises me.
I think that's brave.
Yeah.
I think that surprises me.
I think that's really brave.
That really does surprise me.
Why? Do you mind if I ask why?
Yeah. You talk about vibes. You talk. There's a vibe you get with Jorginho, and
mind you, that's my vibe. That's my.
But I have a different vibe with Jorginho's. If Partey's fit, I don't drop Partey.
I think
there's
I'll go
levels.
with you, Julian. I think with Jorginho in here, I think it'll tell us more about how we're pressed today. I think we'll sit in our shape, we'll move. I think when Partey's in there, like I said, we'll high press, we'll go earlier, higher up the pitch. I think from the looks of it, with Jorginho in there, we'll stick to our shape. We'll be hard to break down, and then, like I said, with them the free.
It's an away side type of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people in the comments saying that Partey's been poor, so doesn't deserve his place. But there's two ways to look at it. A, there's thinking about what Newcastle offer and putting out a team that maybe matches that. But then the other side, purely from an Arsenal perspective, and maybe Arteta looking at the fact that we were 4 games winless. We now won a game, I thought, playing really well in that first half against Chelsea. So he's just going to stick with that team because they've earned it. Yeah. And it might just be that. Jorginho and Kiwi came in and we played much better. So we're going to stick with it.
No, listen, I said at the outset, when I heard that team read out, that didn't surprise me that he went for that. I mean, obviously, we were asked to choose our 11s. I went for what I would have went for. I mean, there's no Tierney. I would definitely have opted for Tierney. For the same argument that you gave about Jorginho, I don't think Zinchenko in recent weeks has hit the heights that he was hitting before.
But I think what Zinchenko, sorry to cut you off, I think what Zinchenko does offer, like, he can break those lines. Like, I think that's, if you weigh it up, like he's able to drift into midfield, break through the lines.
We all know.
Like, he gives
we all know what he brings.
And I think that's what's probably has edged him over.
And the reason why I would have gone for Tierney is, like I said before, I think today we're going to see less of the ball than what we normally do, right? Against a very, at home anyway. I know what you were saying earlier, when they came to the Emirates, they were quite defensive. I think you're going to see a far more offensive Newcastle today. And I think they're going to have a bit more of the ball. They've got players that can hurt you. And I just think that defensively we would have been more sound with Tierney in the team. But hey, it is what it is.
We've got the...
Have we got the Newcastle?
I'll get the Newcastle team up now. Yeah, good point. I always forget to read the other team's 11. But what I was going to say is Sky covering the game here in the UK. They've got Arsenal, Tottenham and Chelsea legend William Gallas on punditry.
Arsenal legend?
And Tottenham and Chelsea.
He's the Arsenal legend.
Well, the sarcasm went over you.
Oh, sorry.
Fair enough.
I was actually at that game, with Robbie when he sat it out on the pitch.
Birmingham.
I was at that game.
Yeah,
I think that was the same game that Eduardo
broke his leg.
Yeah. That was a poor day. I remember that.
You know what? Yeah, just before you go into anything, I think that game was when that whole Arsenal bottling was born, and that game. That attitude, that weak mentality attitude was born from that Gallas sitting on the floor crying. That's what I think.
No, I think, to be fair, it was round before that.
Nah, it was that day. Sorry, James.
The Newcastle team, Pope in goal, Trippier, Char, Botman and Dan Burn, so the back four that they've been going with all season, and I think still have the best defensive record in the league, I believe. Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Willock and Joe Linton in the midfield three. Joe Willock playing against his former club, we know Joe Willock well. Jacob Murphy, Alexander Isak and Callum Wilson in the front three. Listen, that's a team that, don't get me wrong, there are players in there, and I mean this, I know they're going to score now, so I'm saying this, but...
James, careful.
But,
James, please be careful. Please.
I can see what he's leading up to.
It's actually a compliment. It's actually a compliment to Eddie Howe and these players. There are players in there that, if we'd gone up against this 11 a year and a half ago, like before we knew who Newcastle had become, I'd have gone, yeah, Dan Burn, I fancy Saka. Joe Willock, well, we didn't want him. Jacob Murphy, what's he done? But he has raised their level, and they have raised their level with the likes of Callum Wilson being brilliant, Isak has made a massive impact. Guimaraes has been fantastic. Joe Linton reborn in midfield. They got a fantastic back four. Trippier's had a massive impact. They're like, it's one of those where on paper I would want to feel confident, but all season Newcastle have been so tough to beat that I'm personally expecting a really tough game. I haven't predicted a win in this one. I'm nervous, and that 11. Yeah, I mean, you look at the dynamism in there, they can all play. Joe Willock's pass to Isaac against Tottenham shows you what he can do. Guimaraes as well, sitting at the base is brilliant.
Two players that were heavily linked with Arsenal, by the way, Guimaraes and Isaac. Yeah, and I remember when we were linked with Isaac, a lot of people were saying, we all know his ability, but people were questioning whether he'd be prolific in the Premier League. I think he's proved a lot of people wrong. He's scoring goals and he's providing assists. I mean, it's interesting. I was been watching Newcastle quite closely this season, and there was 2 weeks in succession where I think Joe Willock there was an assist he provided with the outside of the foot, and everyone was saying that was potentially the assist of the season. And then a week later, you saw Isaac just running through the defence. You know what I mean? So they are playing some pretty impressive stuff right now. You're right. This is going to be a very difficult game for a number of reasons. We're up against a good team, away from home.
Tough crowd.
There's mental scars there from last season, and man, I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have to say, I'm nervous about the fact that Thomas Partey is in this 11. I know his form doesn't merit him a place, but I just think we need players who can cover ground, and he covers ground. And some people in the comments were saying, someone mentioned Jack Grealish, and him sort of out-muscling Partey at one point in the game. Listen, Jack Grealish is a strong player. Sometimes you just go into it a bit half-hearted and you get done, but let's not discredit the work Partey's done all season. He's been immense for us.
And also Grealish is a very clever player. You saw what he did in that game. You're right, he's strong when he wants to be strong and not so strong when it suits him. So, he will try and out-muscle you, and then the minute you try and get physical with him, he will buy the foul, go down, roll around, you know what I mean? The City players will go around the referee asking for fouls, bookings. So he could frustrate you as well. So.
Yeah, very true. All right, so who's on the watch along a little bit later? That's it, starting in about 20 minutes or so. Are you guys, are you on the watch along? Yeah, watch along? You're all on the watch along. So we're not going to get your predictions because we're going to get you to do them on that show, and I think we'll reveal at the end of the game what your predictions were. I've gone for a 1-1. I revealed that in the preview. And a 1-1 actually secures second place, which, listen...
So would you take that 1-1?
No, I wouldn't take it.
So you'd be disappointed with that, would you?
It's not a bad result. It's really not a bad result.
So you would take it then?
No. They're different. It's not a bad result. You can go to Newcastle and draw, and that's very respectable. But I still believe that if we win our games, and we take City to that final week, where they go away to Brighton, away to Brentford, do I think they'll lose and draw from those last two? No. But at least you're asking the question. That's all I want, Arsenal to take them to the final week. And I think this Arsenal team, for the football they've played this season, I think they deserve to take City to the final week. I think it'd be wrong if they won it with beating Chelsea at home, with like 3 games to go. That just wouldn't feel right for how good we've been this year. But look, a big thanks to all of you. We're going to see you in about 20 minutes for the starting 11 hosted by Turkish. You'll see that very soon. And this upcoming very special watch along is powered by NordVPN. Go check them out. Remember, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and use the code AFTV at checkout or hit the link below, nordvpn.com/AFTV for the AFTV special. We're going to see you in 20 minutes. Come on, Arsenal. We need a big win. Let's just keep the pressure on City. See you in 20 minutes.
NordVPN is the ultimate tool for exploring the internet. It's like having a Swiss Army knife that protects you from online threats, helps you to access fresh content, and gives you anonymity, and so much more. So make sure that you've got NordVPN in your arsenal. Get it? In your arsenal? Click the link. And with the AFTV special, you can save even more. Click the link to be invincible.